Hello coin collectors and history lovers. Welcome back to your favorite place to discover the stories behind the coins in your pocket. Today, we're diving into one of the most iconic American coins, the 1974 Kennedy half-dollar. What's it worth in circulated condition? Let's find out. The Kennedy half-dollar was first minted in 1964, just months after the tragic assassination of President John F. Kennedy. It was designed as a tribute to the late president, and Americans quickly embraced the coin, not just as currency, but as a symbol of national remembrance. The early versions were made of 90% silver, but by 1971, silver was removed from regular circulation coins. That brings us to the coin we're focusing on today, the 1974 Kennedy half-dollar, made of a copper-nickel-clad composition. On the obverse, you'll find the familiar profile of President Kennedy, designed by Gilroy Roberts. Below his chin, you'll see the year 1974, and above, the word Liberty. In the reverse, designer Frank Gasparro crafted the presidential seal, an eagle clutching arrows and an olive branch, surrounded by stars. Around the rim, the inscription reads, United States of America, and half-dollar. It's a beautiful and bold design that still captures attention today. In 1974, Kennedy half-dollars were minted in Philadelphia, no mint mark, Denver, D mint mark, and San Francisco, S mint mark, for proof coins only. In total, hundreds of millions were made that year, making it a common coin in circulation. Now let's talk money. What is a circulated 1974 Kennedy half-dollar worth today? Because these coins are not silver, and millions were produced, their value in circulated condition is generally around face value, 50 cents. But for collectors, condition still matters. A coin with minimal wear might sell for $1 to $2 depending on demand. Still, if your coin has sharp details and light wear, coin dealers or hobbyists might be willing to pay a small premium. Although the 1974 Kennedy half-dollar is common, some rare era coins can command higher prices. Look out for these. Look closely at the inscriptions, especially "In God We Trust" and "Liberty." If the letters appear slightly doubled, you might have a double die error, which can be worth $50 to $150 or more, depending on the condition. If your coin has a small part of the edge missing due to a minting error, it could be valuable to error collectors. Always inspect your coin carefully, or get it checked by a reputable coin dealer if you think you have something special. Oh, should you keep your 1974 Kennedy half-dollar? Definitely. Even though it might not be rare, it's a meaningful part of American coinage. Plus, many collectors love building full sets of Kennedy halves from each year and mint. Whether it's worth 50 cents or $50, it's a piece of history, and a great way to spark interest in numismatics. The Kennedy half-dollar holds a special place in U.S. coinage history. It was first minted in 1964, just a few months after the assassination of President John F. Kennedy in November 1963. Americans wanted a way to honor their fallen leader, and the U.S. Mint quickly responded by replacing the Franklin half-dollar with a new design featuring Kennedy. Designed by Gilroy Roberts, obverse, and Frank Gasparro, reverse, the Kennedy half-dollar was first struck in 90% silver in 1964. However, due to rising silver prices and hoarding by the public, the mint reduced the silver content starting in 1965. By 1971, the coin was changed completely to a copper-nickel-clad composition, the same as used in dimes and quarters, eliminating silver altogether for general circulation. By the time we reached 1974, the Kennedy half-dollar was still being produced in large numbers. The 1974 edition was minted in Philadelphia, no mint mark, Denver, D, and San Francisco, S, for proof coins. Millions of these coins were released, but they were rarely seen in everyday use. Most Americans had already started to avoid half-dollars in circulation, preferring quarters or dollar bills instead. Even though the coin was no longer silver, it still carried emotional and historical value. Kennedy's legacy as a young, inspiring president who championed civil rights, space exploration, and American pride made the coin popular with collectors and citizens alike. Interestingly, 1974 was also just 1 year before the U.S. Mint began preparing bicentennial coins for the 1976 celebration of 200 years of American independence. So the 1974 Kennedy half-dollar represents the last regular design year before that special bicentennial edition. Thanks for watching today's video on the 1974 Kennedy half-dollar. If you learned something new, please give us a thumbs up, subscribe to Yamara, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an episode.